Hello guys, today customer bring a iPhone 12 Pro. It is having a charging issue. Customers complain that it's sometimes charged, sometimes it's not. Look like is the charging port is very loose. That's why we have to change it. Let's do it. First we have to remove these two screws. I'm using that isopropyl. Now you can see it's easily come out. If you don't have this kind of machine, you can use that heat gun, but very carefully, because sometimes overheat can burn the LCD, and there will be a yellow color of sign of burning. Look like this mobile is not been repaired. That's why it take little extra time. Normally if the screen is been repaired or somehow mobile has been repaired before, then it's very easily come out. So it taking little extra time. So don't worry, be patient and very carefully, because a sensitive LCD which can damage your extra pressure. If you put a little extra pressure, it can crack your screen. So very carefully. I always recommend to my YouTuber viewers that when you repairing, if you have experience, then you have to be very carefully. If you don't have experience, don't repair it at home or somehow, because you don't have a knowledge which can damage more your devices. So best way is to go to the local shops or at any expert. First we have to remove the battery connector. So the main reason is to removing the battery connector first. that it will not short circuit, because while you are repairing, if you touch any metal things, some devices is very sensitive which can detect that short circuit and can damage your phone. So the best way is to always take the battery connector off, and then you do the rest of the repairing. Now I'm removing that battery connector, so I'm now very safe. I can use the metal things or anything whatever I want, but if you don't remove the battery connector, don't use the metal, any kind of metal tool. So there is a 4 screws, I have to remove it. Now I will remove that battery connector first. Now I will remove that pyroxy sensor or a loudspeaker. Now what we will do is we will remove all these screws and also removing the SIM tray, and safer side I will recommend you to remove that main motherboard, because if you are very expert then you can remove that charging port without removing that motherboard. But if you are not expert, then I would recommend remove all the screws and take the motherboard off and also the battery. So let's do it. This is a loudspeaker. This is the vibrator. Now there are two screws here and one screw here, and two screws are here. So underneath there is a plastic thing, that one we have to remove it. Now we will remove that battery. There are two ways. You can either heat up from the behind, or you can put the isopropyl. Be careful, because sometimes your little extra pressure can puncture the battery. Now, as I told you, that if you are very expert, then it's okay. If it is not, then you have to take that all the motherboard off. So let's try without this one. That charging port is come out easily. Now we will test it first before we completely installations, because sometimes it's also the faulty. I would recommend you to fix that connector first, because the reason is behind, if you don't fix it properly, then once you complete your charging port, it can be a alignment issue. So safer side, I would recommend you to install that connector. So what we will do, we will install that few screws, and then we will put the charging into, just to double check it that charging port is working fine. We don't need to reinstall the rest of the things, just put battery and the LCD and turn it on, and make sure your charging is properly work. If it is working fine, that's great. If it is not, then you have to get that another charging port, because sometimes charging port is can be a problem. And sometimes I have seen that only original charging port will work, non-original won't work. This is a non-original, customers looking for the cheapest one, but I would say that you go always for the original one. Let's see. Here you go. We will wait for a few minutes. Once it's a little bit charged, then we will make sure that mic is working fine. Now it's turning on. Now we will wait for another few minutes, and we will make sure that every function is perfectly fine, especially charging and mic, everything. Now if we see here, charging is working. I will take the back charging off and put it back again, and then here you go. So the charging is perfectly fine. So the rest of the functions, especially the mic, and after that I will check the rest of the functions like what you call the loudspeaker, as well as that vibrator is not working, because right now I did not install it. So I will go for only for the mic. Let's see how to check the mic. Is very easy method. We will go into that here, voice memo, and double check it. Hello, 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 testing, hello. Because they're not on the mic, so we will test it later on. That shows that mic is working fine. So now we will go for the rest of the things and install all the things back, and then after that we will check all the functions. If anything is a problem, then we need to change it, because the charging port sometimes, as I told you, is faulty. Now I will take the battery connector first off, then I will take the battery connector off, and then the pyroxy sensor, or you can say the ear speaker flex. So now the battery, so the battery charging port is successfully installed now. So rest of the things we will put it back. So let's do it. Now all the things are installed: vibrator, loudspeaker, charging port, everything. So let's try now the rest of the functions. Let's see now. It's turning on. Charging port is working perfectly fine. Let's do the rest of the functions. As I recorded this one before, let's see.
Hello, testing, hello.
So that means it's working perfectly fine. Now we will see the vibrator. Yeah, vibrator is working fine, you can feel it. Now we will try one more time the mic. Hello.
Hello.
So that means it's perfectly fine now. So we don't need to replace another one, so it's all functions fine. Now we will check that battery is working fine. Yeah, charging is working fine now. Now we will install the rest of the things. Now I would say to put some double-sided tape underneath, or you can put that glue. Otherwise battery maybe keep shaking.